and I will rejoice and be glad in it. In spite of the coronavirus, did I say it right? Virus that's out. Corona virus that's out. In spite of the division in D.C., in spite of the condition of our people, I will nevertheless rejoice, because this is the day that Yah has made, and I will rejoice. I'm going to make myself rejoice, just like I make myself go, just like people make themselves go to a job that they don't like, right? If you can make yourself go to a job that you don't like, surely you can make yourself rejoice in the Most High, who loved you and I so much that he gave his only begotten Son for us. At this particular time, I'm going to, first of all, I want to welcome our Facebook social media viewers who are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or who are terminally sick when you can't be here in our local Fort Worth location. But if you are well enough in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you need to make yourself out to our physical location, presently 2100 Alta Mesa Boulevard, and our second location, 2700 Village Creek. I am Apostle Malachi P.L. Reynolds, a.k.a. Chief Facilitator, Administrator. Our elders is Chief Elder Scales, who's going to be our keynote speaker, and our pastor is Elder Timotheus, and Elder Darrell, who's out this morning. Let us keep him lifted up in prayer. He's out of town. But whenever he goes out of town, you can believe that he is evangelizing, spreading literature about who we are as a people. Today is the last day of what they call Black History Month. And we know that Black history is not just confined within 29 days. You understand? And sometimes I think that we as a people focus too much on Black history, where we neglect the present and our future. You understand? It is good to know about Black history, and I would say that Black history starts from Genesis, the first chapter, from our Bible scholars. But I'm going to do what I call a pre-lesson this morning. I want you to know that I love you all, those who are present here this morning and those who are on their way here this morning. And I want our Facebook viewers, those who are outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texas area, I want you to know that I love you and that I'm praying for you. I may not know you personally, but I'm praying for you. I'm laboring and praying for you because, like Paul said, it is my heart's desire and prayer to Yah that Israel might be what? Saved. Hello? Hello? Sometimes I believe we do too much debating scriptures and not enough praying. You understand? We need to pray that Yahweh will touch them in a way where they will accept this truth. Repeat after me. Yah prepare me, to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary. Yah for you. Come on, Dominic. Yah prepare me, to be a living sanctuary, tried and true, pure and holy, Yah for you. Give Almighty Yah a hand clap. Now I want to shoot through this pre-lesson so so that we can give our chief elder an hour to do his teaching, okay? I want to shoot through this pre-lesson, so I'm going to ask all my brothers to please give your undivided attention to the scriptures, okay? He gave us 6 days to take care of all our business. Hello? But on the 7th day, he wants our undivided attention. So the Most High, he's not inconsiderate, because he knows that we have things to do, right? Right? So he's not inconsiderate. Save me a couple of those, Israel. He's not inconsiderate. That's why he gives us 6 days. I don't know what it is, but when I get through preaching and teaching, I used to wonder why back in the days at Grandma's church, why the preachers always got the first plate. But now I understand. As a child, I didn't think it was unfair. But now I understand, because I'm telling you, Brother Anthony, when I get through preaching, I be hungry. You understand? That's why I tell her, don't throw away the breakfast after you. I'm not being inconsiderate. It's not like that I don't want it, because when I get home, I eat it. You know, but anyway, I may have to sit down. Let me see. But the Most High is not inconsiderate. He knows we have responsibilities. He wants us to work. But he wants us to prioritize all that stuff. You understand? He wants us to prioritize that. You know? But on the 7th day, he wants to give us his undivided attention. So I'm going to ask all my brothers, give the Most High your undivided attention this morning to help me get through these pre-lessons. Since this is so-called Black History Month, and like Marcus Garvey said, that a people without knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. Hello? People without knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. Okay? So knowing our history is important, and the Bible, Black history started in Genesis, the first chapter, the first verse. And in the beginning, you know. So that's when Black history began. I think it's fitting for us to do the role play. The Most High put it in my rule. Somebody say role play.
Role play.
What does give me a definition of role play? Say it again.
Act out in a character.
Acting out in a character. Do you know the Most High gave us all the role play? Do you have the Bible, brother?
No.
You can Google it up, brother. Role play. He gives us all a role to play. You understand? And listen, let's find out. Let's go, I guess, to Genesis 2:18. Genesis 2:18. Now the Most High, he put the man in the earth to what? To rule. In other words, he put the man in the earth, and he says to have dominion over the fowls of the air, over the creatures in the sea, and to be fruitful and multiply. He put the man in the earth to have dominion. Dominion means to rule. Hello? It means to rule. But he didn't want man to rule by himself. Genesis 2:18, just that one verse right there.
Genesis 2:18. Yahuwah Elohim said,
It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him.
So the Most High never made the earth for the man to be an island without a woman. Hello? He said it is not good for man to be alone, which is to imply that the man was incomplete without a what? Reminds me of that old song by, was it? That old song, was it James Brown? Yeah, it's a man's world. James Brown would say it's a man's world, but it's nothing without a what? Did I say the lyrics right? Did I say the lyrics right, Elvin?
Yeah.
So the Most High said, look, he put man in the earth, but he said, you are incomplete, man, without a what? A woman. So that's why he said it's not good for man to be alone, because Adam saw a male lion and a what? Female lion. Adam saw a male bird and a female bird. And he looked around and just saw himself like, wait a minute. He felt lonely. Even with the Most High, even with the animals. You understand? The Most High still wants us to have some human companionship, right? So the role of the man is to rule, right? To have dominion. And he gave him a what? A woman to be his what? Help me. To help him to rule. Meaning she's to help him to do what the Most High ordained for him to do, right? That's the proper role of a man. Okay, let's go. Same chapter, I believe. Genesis, the second chapter, I believe, the 21st verse.
Reading Genesis
2 and 21, I think.
2, 2nd chapter, 21 verse. And Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And he slept. He took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Read down to the 23rd verse.
And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man made he a woman and brought her unto man.
There it is. The first marriage was performed by who? The Most High. Therefore, what the Most High has joined, let no man what? If you read in the book of Adam, you have to get that book separate from the 66. Satan tried to divide the man and the woman, tried to cause, well, he did cause division, but he tried to get them to divorce one another. You understand? That's in the book of Adam. But Adam recognized this woman was of his flesh, of his blood. Did you finish that?
No, 23rd. And man said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
Okay, so see, right here we see the origin of man and the origin of woman. In spite of what a lot of Egyptologists say, or some other persuasion, philosophical persuasion may be, a woman is not the origins of the human creation. She is not the origin. She is not the Most High. Okay? Because there's a persuasion out there that's saying that that the black woman is God, and that's not the truth. You understand? The Most High created man first, and from the man he made the woman. You understand? Now, yes, she is the mother of. She is the first woman. She is the mother of the human race, but Adam is the father of the human race. You understand? So when they say Mother Earth, you're really saying Mother Eve, okay? But she's the mother, but she is not the origin of creation, okay? Because the man carries the seed, okay? And the seed didn't originate in the woman who is the garden. The seed originates in man. Hello? So, with all due respect, a sister may carry the seed for 9 months, but a brother may carry the seed for life. You know what I'm saying? You know? So, but listen. Each individual that the Most High put in the earth has their proper role. You understand? And we need to abide by our what? Proper roles. You understand? And not alter our roles. You understand? The woman, and when he said this is not bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, that means they are a man and a woman supposed to be on one accord, right? Hello? One accord, right? I hear one rebellious woman tell her husband, who was a preacher in Mississippi, in my home state, well, the Most High called you, not me. What type of statement is that? She gonna tell her husband, who's a bishop, the Most High called you, not me. But we already see what type of rebellious spirit that is. That's a social engineering altered mentality. You understand? Now let's go from there. So the role of the man is to rule. The role of a woman is to help the man to rule, right? Man is incomplete without what? A woman. Okay, so that is the role of a woman is subject to that of a man. But her role is very vital and important, right? Behind every great man, this is the true saying, behind every great man is a great woman, right? See, let's see, Genesis, 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. Let's go quickly. 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. 1 Corinthians, 11th chapter. We're talking about role play. Role play. 1 Corinthians, 11th chapter, the 3rd verse. Just one verse right there. 1 Corinthians, 11th chapter, the 3rd verse. If any of you find the verse out there, read it. 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, 3rd verse.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Marshall, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Marshall is Elohim.
Read it again, Elder.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Marshall, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Marshall is Elohim.
That is a proper social order and structure. You understand? That supersedes different nations, cultures, and languages. You understand? A Mashiach, who the world called Christ, is the head of man. And man is the head of the woman. And the man and the woman, of course, the parents are the head of the what? Children. You understand? That role should not be altered, right? It should not be socially engineering alteration of the role, because when you do, it's going to cause a lot of social ills, which what we see today, right? If without structure you have what? Chaos. The United States and the so-called black man and black woman of America, we are having a moral, spiritual chaos. Did I say it right? Chaos?
Yeah.
Because we're not abiding by our roles. So a man's wife should follow him, right? and help him do what the Most High called him to do. In other words, while this man go to this church, his wife is going to another church. What type of madness is that? And a lot of you men today who put up with that, you's a coward. Because you need to take authority in your household and say, as for me and my house, we must serve Hamashiach. Hello? But some men just put up with it because of a paycheck. Hello? Men need to take authority in your household. You understand? And wherever that woman goes, she's a part of your household. Hello? And these are things that I have seen, you know, especially in the Sunday churches. You know? But your woman should be following you to Shabbat. Your woman should be practicing Shabbat. If she's not following you to Shabbat, she should be at the house practicing Shabbat. And some folks are wondering why they ain't prospering because you ain't actually keeping these commandments. How is she helping you do what the Most High called you to do? You understand? You don't eat pork, but she eat pork. You abide by the teachings of Hamashiach, but she ain't abide by the teachings of Hamashiach. How is she of your bones? How is she of your flesh? How is it that y'all are on one accord? Where we at? Drop down the same chapter, read the 9th verse. Same chapter, 9th verse.
Chapter 9th verse.
Yes.
Reading from 1 Corinthians 11, chapter 9th verse. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
The culture today tells a woman, you don't need a man. Hello? You can do bad all by yourself. You don't need a man. Right? I saw something on being advertised where the man was leaving the household and the woman was telling the man, I don't need a man. And her daughter heard it, and her daughter said, well, I don't need a man neither. And the little brother heard it, and he said, and I don't want to be a man. Hello? We have a lot of single sisters in our community, black women, who are displaying before their children a toxic behavior. It's toxic. Hello? And you wonder why some of these young men, Israelite brothers, some of these young Israelite children grow up and they don't even want to be a man. They grow up to be homosexuals, or they go and marry outside the race. You understand? Also, the things that I've seen my mother do and hear her toxic behavior. I know my father wasn't around, but at least I didn't get a chance to see his toxic behavior. But I did see my mother's toxic behavior. And all that influenced me not to even want to marry a black woman. So I married a white woman. What you do is not maybe, it will affect the children in a good or bad way. Hello? But the woman was made for the man. Where's Paul getting that from? He getting that from where? Genesis. Right? Right? Nowadays I see just the backwards. You understand? But the woman was made to help the man. Not to be a slave to the man, but to rule with the man. Hello? To rule. I know some men have abused it, and some men will continue to abuse it. You understand? And like once you say, well, I get right when the men get right. I said, well, let me tell you something, sister. All men ain't gonna get right. What you need to do is get right with the men who are already got right. And your change shouldn't be dictated to by if somebody else is getting right or not. You should want to change and change for yourself first so that you can be ready for that man that is already right. But this is not mandatory. No court is mandatory that you come to Shabbat. No court is ordering you not to eat pork. You can do what you want to do and be wicked and unclean. You can leave Shabbat and pretend like you've never even been here. Go and get around folks and don't let them know that you've been in Shabbat. Just like Peter. When he denied YAH'S, and people recognized him and said, wait a minute, wasn't you with YAH'S? I don't know the man. Wait a minute, you are the man. Don't be ashamed of this truth. Don't be ashamed. Why are some of us ashamed of the truth? You're really running your house. Where we at? Ephesians. Let's get to moving. Ephesians, the 5th chapter, the 21st verse. Ephesians, the 5th chapter, the 21st verse. Ephesians, the 5th chapter, the 21st verse to the 25th verse. 5th chapter.
Ephesians, 5th chapter,
21st verse to the 25th verse.
25th verse. Submit yourselves one to another in the fear of Yahuwah.
Now, men, we as men are to submit ourselves to the advice of the woman as she helps us to what? To do what the Most High has called us to do. Right? Right? A virtuous woman would help you do what the Most High has called you to do. Right? Because she's going to tell you things that is in keeping with the will of the Most High. So when it says submit yourselves one to another in reverence of the Most High, meaning as a man, I reverence you will reverence the wisdom that comes from your wife. You will reverence it because she is a virtuous woman. Likewise, woman, you will reverence the wisdom of your husband because you reverence who? The Most High. That's what it says, submitting yourselves one to another in the reverence of Elohim. 22nd verse.
Women, submit yourselves unto your own men as unto Yahuwah.
As unto, submit yourself. It didn't say the man make her submit. Hello? This is instruction for a woman to submit her what? Her own self. You should want to do it, right? It didn't say submit yourself to abuse, but to a man that reverence the Most High. 23rd verse.
For the man is the head of the woman, even as Mashiach is the head of the called out of sin. He is the Savior of the body.
That's all I want from there. Jump down to the 6th chapter, same book, just the first verse. So we see once again that we want to stay in the proper role of what the Most High had placed us in. Okay? Ephesians 6:1.
Reading Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents in Yahuwah, for this is right.
Obey your parents. Read on.
Honor your father and your mother. This is the first commandment with promise.
Okay, so children, parents, teach your children to reverence the Most High being led by the ruler is not going to tell no child to do nothing like that crazy, right?
Not at all.
They going to tell them to get in the room and clean the room, go empty the trash, go wash dishes. You understand? You know, that's righteous judgment right there, right? That's why it's important that, you know, that we express, it says, in the Most High. You know, they try to get you to smoke some crack. You know, don't do that. Don't obey that. You honor them, but don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a parent that's being led by the ruler, but you submit yourself. And Titus, I'll read this one. Titus, see, I'll read this one. Titus, the 2nd chapter, 3rd through the 5th verse. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine or drunken, teachers of good things. When it says the aged women, meaning the older women, the elderly women, you understand? That they be in behavior as becoming holiness. The opposite of holiness is what? Worldliness. Okay? Don't be worldly, be holy. Don't be a whore, be holy. Not giving too much wine. Teachers of what? Good things. But who are the older women to teach? The 4th verse. That they may teach the what?
The
young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. The older women are to teach the young women not how to cheat on their husband, not how to gossip. Don't let that man tell you what to do. You make more money than him. See, these older women nowadays, and if they ain't teaching these young women these those things, they compete against them. You understand? That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husband. Teach a young lady to love her husband, and to respect her husband, and to love their children. But look here, honey, I know we've been on the phone for an hour, but I ain't got time to be on the phone with you gossiping. I hear you got some children in the back. You need to get to your children, honey. I would love to talk to you, but you got some children. Get to your children. That's what an older woman would tell a young lady. You understand? So women, some women, like the gossip, you understand? I love you, I like talking to you, but you need to take care of your children out here in the background. And the 5th verse says, and teach the young women to be discreet, chaste, keepers at what? At home, not running the streets. Good, obedient to their own what? That the word Elohim be not what? And of course, 6th verse, young men likewise exhort to be sober minded. Okay, so that is the role. Now listen, the problem what has happened is that there is a lot of social engineering going on today that has caused an alteration of the roles of the family. You understand? Like it is by design it was by design, it was a social engineering construct to get the woman out the house and to put her to work. Why? To push equality? Hell no. Why? Because I get more revenue from taxes by having both genders work outside the household instead of just one gender. Hello? I get more tax revenue. And you think some of you sisters, some of you women, you think just because women's equality, please. is social engineering. You can look up that term. Social engineering constructs. If some of you being put up with it because, hey, it's a check. It's a check. You understand? Just like some men will lay up, you understand, with an unattractive woman because of the check. The check. Hello? Don't let social engineering constructs alter, alter means what? To change your scripture ordained purpose. Hello? It is a scripture ordained purpose for a man to rule. And a check don't make a man a man. What makes a man is the one who created him, the Most High. That's what makes a man a man. You understand? Now, there's a lot of social engineering going on because they're allowing black women to work in a corporate office more so than a black man because they don't fear you black women. They fear the black man. You see how they're using, I'm going to go ahead and say it, with all due respect, you see how they're using Gayla King, you see how they're using Oprah. It is my personal opinion that they are used by the white establishment to condemn black people. That is the opinion of Apostle Malachi A.K. Reynolds. Don't charge it to my ministry. That is my humble opinion. That is my freedom of speech. Now quickly, for black history. Israelite, is it a religion or nationality? Israelite, is it a religion or nationality? What you say it is? Nationality. It's a bloodline. It's a bloodline. Now, go Genesis 12th chapter. Genesis the 12th chapter. Israelite, is it a religion or nationality? Who are the people of the scriptures? Be more specific.
We are.
That's right. The so-called black man and black woman of America. Hold up. Now, the root word of nationality is nation. Nation is defined as a large body of people united by common descent. That's that bloodline. Also united by history, culture, language, inhabiting a particular country or territory. So the root word of nationality is nation. And let's go ahead and define religion. Believe it or not, there is a true religion. The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal God or gods. Religion is defined as the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal God or gods. So is Israelite a religion or nationality? Or both? Good. It's good to stick with nationality because a lot of our people are confused, but I will break down to you the Bible's definition of religion. Okay? Because there is a true religion. But I want to point out to you that Israelite is a nationality and not a religion in the sense that they push Christianity and Islam, okay? And Buddhism and Hinduism. Okay? Now, Genesis 12, 1 and 2.
Genesis 12 chapter, verse and 7 verse. Now Yahuwah has said unto Abraham, get you out of your country and from your kindred, and from your father's house unto the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make you your name great, and you shall be a blessing.
Okay. Genesis 12 and 1, the brother read, the Most High telling Abraham that I will make of thee a great religion. What did he say, Brother Anthony? What did he say, y'all? A great what?
Nation.
A great nation. He said, I will make of thee, Abraham, a great nation, not a great religion. And he promised him what? Land. Some of this piece of the earth, not a pie in the sky. Hello? Oh, my baby looking down on me right now from here. Why is it that when everybody dies, everybody's an angel?
Yeah.
Moving on. All right, jot down the same book. Genesis, the 21st chapter. Genesis, the 21st chapter. Genesis, the 21st chapter. Are you with us, Dominique? I'll read this. Genesis, the 21st chapter, 9th through 13th verse. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. 10th verse. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heirs with my son, even with Isaac. 11th verse. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. 12th verse. And Elohim said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, of the child, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be what? Come on, man. For in Isaac shall thy seed be what? For in Isaac. Now Abraham had more than one son, right? Right, Dominique? Right, Brother Lamb?
Yeah.
But the Most High said that he will make him a great nation, not through something that was flesh ordained. Ishmael was of the making of Sarah, not of the promise of God, right? But he said, in Isaac shall thy seed be, which is to imply that in Isaac shall thy nation be, right? The Genesis, the 25th chapter. We're talking about Israelites, a religion or nationality. Genesis, the 25th chapter. Genesis, the 25th chapter, the 21st through the 23rd. I'll read it. And Isaac entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was what? Barren, unfruitful, and the Most High was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived the 22nd verse, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? She asked a question, and she went to inquire of the Most High. She was a praying woman. She went and asked the Most High. The 23rd verse, and the Most High said unto her, what did he say unto her? Fellas, read this. Two what? Come on, Dominique. Two nations are what? Two nations are in thy what? Womb. And two manner of people shall be separated from thee, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the what? The younger. Now the Most High told Abraham that he would make of thee a great what? Nation. Singular, right? And he said also in the previous verse that we read, that in Isaac shall thy seed be, right? He didn't say seeds. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. He said seed. And he said, which is singular, and he said nation. You understand? Yes, Ishmael, to my Muslim brothers out there, yes, Ishmael was of the lineage of Abraham, of his blood, but he was not of the promise. You understand? Isaac was the promised seed, the prophesied one. You understand? And you see, but the Most High said, okay, Abraham, I will make Ishmael great. You understand? But my covenant shall be with the one that I chose. Right? Isaac. Meaning, don't let flesh get in the way of you doing what the Most High called you to do. You understand? Do it this way. Right? Okay. So we see here, there is two children in the wife of Isaac. Isaac is the promised seed, right? We follow the lineage of Abraham. Isaac, we know it's not Ishmael, although Ishmael was his child, his firstborn son according to the flesh, but not his firstborn son according to the ruach, or the spirit, right? But he said, I know he's a child, I bless him too for Abraham's sake, you understand? But Isaac is the one. So Isaac marries a woman named Rebecca. We follow that lineage now, the promised lineage. And Rebecca is pregnant with twins, and you have two children, two sons. And he called those two sons in our womb what? Two nations. Hello? Two nations. And the Most High prophesied and said that the older shall serve the younger. Right? Okay. Now we're moving on from there. Where we at? I need to get this lesson quickly, y'all, so I can get the other up. Let's see. Where we at? Genesis 25. All right, let's go quickly to Genesis, the 32nd chapter. Genesis, the 32nd chapter. Genesis, the 32nd chapter. The 24th verse. I will read it. And Jacob was left alone. Now, the two sons that Rebekah had, one was named Esau, and the other one was named what? Jacob. Thank you very much. And Jacob was, all right, so now we're on Jacob. Esau was the oldest, Jacob was the youngest. The Most High chose Jacob, the younger, over Esau, the older. By tradition, Jacob was supposed to, no, Esau was supposed to get the lion's share of the inheritance. You understand? By tradition, you understand? But however, the Most High had chose while it was in the womb Jacob over Esau, although he was young. Genesis 32nd chapter, 24th verse. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him unto the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. Okay? And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh, except thou bless me. Excuse me, wait a minute. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. The 27th verse. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but what? Well, y'all should be saying that real loud. When you learned that you was an Israelite, that's right. When you learned that you wasn't merely black or African American, thy name shall be no more called black, African American, Negro, niggas, thoughts, thugs, but Israel. You should rejoice when you say that name. For as a prince thou hast power with Elohim and with men, and has prevailed. So we see that the blessing of Abraham came from Abraham to Isaac, not to Esau, but to who? Jacob. And Jacob is where we get where the name Israel come into play. He said, no, thou should be called Israel, not religion. Thou should be called Israel. Okay? So let's see. Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter. Now Jacob or Israel had 12 sons. You understand? And those 12 sons consisted of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? Deuteronomy 14 and 2. Deuteronomy 14 and 2. I'll read it for time's sake. Deuteronomy 14 and 2. For thou art, the Most High speaking through Moses to our forefathers, the Israelites. For thou art holy people unto me, unto the Lord, unto Elohim, the Adonai. And the Adonai had chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Y'all see that? For thou art holy people. For Adonai, thy Elohim, Adonai had chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. You understand? Okay. He chose them out of Egypt to be a what? Nation, not a what? Religious denomination. He chose them out of Egypt to be a nation, not to be a Baptist, Pentecostal, Muslim, but to be a what? Not to be Buddhist, Hinduism, Mormon, but to be what? An Israelite. To be a holy nation, to be an Israelite, right? Right? This is important. Because all our lives we went to church and we learned religion. And how has religion saved us? Oh, give me an old time religion. But our condition is still the same 50 years later. You think you're something because you got a job and a cash car. Our people are strong. Oh, let's see. He brought them out. Okay, where we at? Where we at? Men, Larry, Dominique, where we at? 14 and 2, help me, brothers. The Gospel of John, 1 and 11. The Gospel of John, 1 and 11. And he came into his own, what? And his own what? Received him not. He came into his own, Yahushua came into his own, he came into his own nation, right? Nation, he came to a nation, right? He came into a nation. Romans 10 and 1. Romans. Oh, I just left them there. Going to Romans 10 and 1. Romans 10 and 1. I just left them there. John 1:11 was he came into his own, just one verse. Romans 10 and 1. Romans 10 and 1. Romans 10 and 1.
Okay. Brothers, my heart desire and prayer to Yahuwah for Yasharel is that they might be saved.
That they might be saved. Not that they may be a Pentecostal or Methodist or you know what I'm saying? that they might just be saved. You understand? Moving on. Moving on. Romans 11 and 1. Romans 11 and 1. Romans 11 and 1. I have to swoop through these lessons because we're living in a time where people's time, attention span is short. You understand? Romans 11 and 1. Romans 11 and 1. I'm talking about some of my viewers on 11 and 1 on Facebook. 11 and 1. Read. Romans 11 and 1.
Romans 11 and 1. I say then, as Yahuwah cast for his people, never, for I am also
an Israelite of the seed of Abraham.
tried of
Benjamin.
Israel.
Okay, who are his people? Israelites. You understand? And whoever latches on, you understand, to the commonwealth of Yeshua Allah. You understand? But Paul recognized his nationality, although he had a Roman citizenship. Hello? You hear me? Y'all hear me, brothers? You hear me, Brother Lee? He had a Roman citizenship. Study the history of Roman citizenship. You understand? You know, just, you know, but that says something. Oh, I'm an American. I'm an American. A land of the free, home of the slaves. You know what I'm saying? I got my citizenship. You understand? But that's not your nationality. Don't let that confuse you. Even Paul had Roman citizenship, but he recognized that, hey, I'm Israelite, and I know what state I come from. I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Moving on, we about to conclude this. Romans 3, 1 and 2. Romans 3, 1 and 2. Romans 3, 1 and 2. Romans 3, 1 and 2.
Romans 3 and 2. Romans 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
What advantage then has the Yahuwah?
All the Jews. Much and everywhere.
What profit is there a circumcision? Much everywhere. Chiefly because that unto them were committed the word of the Lord.
So, what advantage does the Israelite nation have? We the cream of the crop. Because it was first committed unto us. What? Salvation, right? The oracles of Yah Elohim, right? You understand? Revelation 21. I'll read this as I conclude it. Elder, prepare yourself to come up here. Revelation 21. 21, I'll read it. The second verse. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. The 10th verse, and it reads, and he carried me away in the Ruach to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descended out of heaven from Elohim. The 12th verse, and had a great wall, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written down, which are the names of the 12. Hallelujah. Thank you. Hallelujah. Glory. I won't speak in tongues unless that's in the church. Unless that's in the church. You understand? But that rejoices my spirit. You understand? This great city had the names of the 12 tribes of Israel, which make up the nation of Israel. Let's see. The 14th verse. And on the wall of the city had 12 foundations. Remember, Elder Skills talk about the numbers 12. And in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. You understand? So Israelite is a nationality, not a what? Give Almighty our hand clap praise. And just trying to get our chief elder up. Give him a hand.
Everybody's concerned about this coronavirus, which you should be, you know. But we got to remember, where are you getting this news from? Mainstream media. They haven't never been honest today in their life. Okay? So, if we are indeed the children of the Most High, then He gives us discernment. You know, to try to look on both sides of things. Now, I'm not saying it's some kind of fake, conspiracy theory. It could be real. Okay? Or it could be done directly from the Most High Himself. But either way, we're not supposed to be in fear. If it's man's doing, it's going to backfire and fall on him. He'll fall in his own pit. If it's the Most High's doing, it's doing it on our behalf. And we shouldn't be in fear because we should already expect it. We should already know. You only fear on unknown. We're supposed to know. See? We're supposed to know. So, when things happen, how are we all shocked and blown away by it? You know what I'm saying? Oh, really, coronavirus. We got the scripture said pestilence was coming. You know, it's coming. But what happens when we get distracted? And then that pulls us away from the truth of the Most High, His promises, you know, and of protection and everything else. We forget all about that and we go to focusing on what mainstream media is saying. They're good at distracting. What's been in the news, I say, the past 3 weeks? COVID crimes. What does that got to do with anything? You know, he's done, you know, and so his future is in the hands of the Most High now. There's nothing you can do for him. This man has been retired 17 years. Where was all that love and praise the whole 17 years? Why do we have to wait till we dead before people praise you? Those millions of fans, why wasn't they calling them up every day for the 17 years? No, they wait till you're dead. You can't hear it now. You know, you tell your loved ones and your friends how you feel about them while they can still hear you. Not after they're gone. Trump impeachment fiasco. I told everybody from the start, this man is not getting impeached. This is a dog and pony show to keep y'all mind off of the real agendas that they push. See, they always have to keep American people distracted from the real issue. So they come up with everything. I have failed to realize yet how these viruses got their own brain. Every year at the same time, here comes the flu. Like well, here it is, February time to go attack people. Like it's got its own mind. Please. Yeah. See, most of this stuff is laboratory created, but the Most High knows it all. Nothing goes by him. He either allows it or he does it himself.
That's right.
Either way, we're not supposed to be afraid. If the Most High is doing it, it's on our behalf. People can get that. You know, everything that's taking place in this world right now is on our behalf. Believe it or not. This whole prophecy, all the things that's coming, the things that's going to come, it's on our behalf. It's because of us. And these people out here know it. This is why they're doing all this stuff. They know who you are. Don't let them fool you and think they don't know who you are. They know those folks over there in the land there in Costa Rica.
That's right.
They know that. Sure they know that. But see, man has a way of trying to change prophecy, which he can't do. Whatever the Most High says is going to happen. Somebody go to Isaiah 55 again.
Isaiah 55 and 11. Say Cain when you get there. Isaiah 55 and 11. And it reads, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it.
See, you can't change the Most High's prophecy. Man has been trying to do that. He tried to hide us, you know, from the world. It made several attempts to eradicate us. You know, through this Tuskegee experiment, and the Devil's Bowl, and the Punch Bowl. Devil's Punch. They've been trying for a long time.
Jim Jones.
Yeah, but they can't. See, the Most High is not going to let them destroy. Ain't no way. I tell you something, y'all didn't even know. I think it was the flu season before the last. Every person that got sick and died with it was Gentile. Not one black person died or got infected with it. Did y'all know that? Not one. I only had one sister call me who had a relative got sick, but her relative is mixed. She's white and black, but she survived. She recovered. But not one of them. And I mean, it's people running in Walgreens and all this, getting that poison shot in the arm, or flu shot, and didn't even get sick. But everybody else that took it got sick. The Most High is not going to let these people destroy it. If we get destroyed, it'd be by his hand. Nobody else. That ain't happening. That's not happening. Let's go to, I guess, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 10 and 11.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 10 to the 11th verse. And it reads, therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said Adonai, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of thy captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, said Adonai, to save thee. Though I make a clean end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and I will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
Now, if the Most High said, and he's not going to make an end of us, no man going to do it either.
Hallelujah.
Now, I'd be real concerned if the Most High had included us in that, well, I'm going to make an end of y'all too. I'd be real concerned. He said, no, I'm not going to make no end of y'all, but you ain't going all together unpunished. You're going to pay for the stuff you've been doing. But I'm going to say, he's going to save all this. And the difficult part comes when we get in the wilderness and he goes to doing the separating. With the wheat from the tares, but all this is going to get saved. But in the wilderness, he's going to go to okay, yeah, you get over here. You get over here. So, man is actually powerless. I mean, they do their little stuff, you know, they call it population control and all that stuff. Y'all don't control nothing. At all. I don't think folks care about that coronavirus and the man. I don't do things about it. Because they can't do nothing to me the Most High don't allow. They can't take 1 second away from my life. I grew up with guys, got shot in the heart and lived another 40 years. With the bullet still in his heart, they couldn't even operate and take it out. I'm telling you, shot in his heart. You're not leaving here a day sooner than you're supposed to, and you're not going to stay a day longer than you're supposed to leave. So we should always remember that the Most High is in control all the time, 24/7, non-stop. Okay, let's read. Go to Joshua 1:9.
The book of Joshua 1:9. And it reads, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For Adonai thy Elohim is with thee, whithersoever thou goest.
Now, in verse 9, what did he say? Did he say he asked us not to be afraid, or he commanded?
We command us not to be afraid.
I want to make sure mine is right.
Man.
He said, I command you not to be scared. You know? Y'all don't have nothing to fear from these people. All they can do is just snuff it out your body. But your spirit belongs to me. Your spirit is mine. Nothing they can do about that. Hebrews 13:6.
Hebrews 13:6. Turn your attention to Hebrews 13:6.
We leave here today, we're going to have a whole new perspective on these pestilence and all these troubles coming up. We're going to have a whole new. Because we already know it's going to happen. It's not no secret to us. It's not supposed to be.
Hebrews 13:6. And it reads, so that we may boldly say, Adonai is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.
All these scriptures in here are not in there for nothing. Just thought they needed something to fill in the spaces. They mean something. Okay? Now I tell you how this system works. And it's always worked that way. In America and in other countries. Problem, reaction, solution. Remember those 3 words. They create the problem. We react. Then they offer a solution. That's like where it's always been. You know, you create some kind of pandemic, then everybody panic. Oh, we got a solution here. Take this shot. And you signing a death warranty. Because what's in the shot? See, look, nothing's free in this world. Do you know how much money, millions of dollars it takes to have these vaccines, make these vaccines? And you mean to tell me they gonna put them in Walgreens and all that and give them away for free? Millions of dollars? I mean, you can be a transient, don't have a home or nothing like that, walk right in there and get a shot. Free. I'm not taking nothing free. I don't know, that don't give me nothing.
Yeah, and if I can say something else, it creates jobs. It creates jobs. And a politician's ingredients to being reelected is that he'll promise you a what? Job.
More jobs.
And we as a people, we don't care if the job oppresses or flip down people, as long as it's a what? Job. In other words, our people, we're suckers for jobs.
This is why we have absolutely no business in being involved in politics. Absolutely nothing. I've lived through what, maybe 18, 19 presidents. Not one have I seen do anything for us. Not one. Everybody hollered, well, John Kennedy didn't do nothing. He got killed because he was bucking the grain against him. He was talking about getting them out of Vietnam and talking about taking back control of the banking system. That's what got him killed. Well, didn't have nothing to do with us. See, I've seen them presidents go and come, not once. Now, look what's happening there. Even the LGBTQ community got rights. They cater to them. Fix it where they can claim each other now on the income tax and get a return back. You know, we accidentally put a kid on there, they come and lock us up. Oh, we didn't stay there in your house long enough. And they passed that law in Virginia to where they can go and get their birth certificate changed to another gender. They just passed it about 3 weeks ago. I gave y'all that bill. If you were born a male, you can go and get a female birth certificate. And they got to honor it. See, we're being forced to honor these people. You know, if he say he's a female, you got to call him that.
Or lose your job.
Or lose your job.
Be suspended.
Or get sued. If a man is born a man and he decides he wants to be a female and wants you to call him his female name, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to do it. Because if you're a man, I'm going to call you one. You know, you just have my problems from that point on. I'm going to call you what Most High calls you. What he made you. I'm not intimidated by that stuff. You know, they operate on a system of fear. See, and people don't have the discernment of the Most High. They fear things. See, they fear things. Like 911. We gave away every right we got behind it. Out of being afraid. Oh, we'll do something. Okay. They stuck all these laws in there on us now. We being surveilled every whatever. I mean, you got a cell phone, they looking at you through that. You know, I mean, we just here. And that's the exact thing they wanted us to do, control. They control the people. People don't even know they're being controlled. They live in the matrix and don't even know it. They think they're free. They walk around here thinking they're free. You're a slave. You're a captive. I don't care what color you are. We got Gentiles, you know, the word thinking they free. Y'all just as big slaves as we are. See, they come up with all these shrine devices. I've seen people buy this weird Google thing. After you have to ask a question and answer. Is that's what it is? Lexi? You got to be out of your mind. Because if you ask that thing something, it's going to answer you immediately. So if it answers you immediately, that means it's always listening. I mean, think. If you can say, Google, what's this? Immediately throws your answer. That's why you've been listening to you the whole time. That's insanity. Who needs that? I mean, pick up a dictionary and find something out. You know, we've got to be lazy. And I was a victim of that too. I ain't gonna say it because I remember 5-6 years ago, I couldn't find a remote to my TV. I'm sitting there looking at TV, I want to change channels, I can't find the remote. Do you know I walked all the way through that house searching for my remote and passed by the TV 9 times? I could have just changed it with the buttons on the TV. No, I had to wait till I found the remote, then go sit back down and change it. But I passed by the TV 15 times. They got buttons on the TV that you can change your television. Yeah, but that's just what we've come to. That's what we leave the house one day and get your cell phone and get about 10 miles from house. Oh man, my phone. You gonna turn around and go back again. I know, because I did. I've done it. Sure have. Get 15 blocks home and realize I ain't got this phone with me. I'm going to be late for where I'm going. Because I got to turn around and go get my phone. We're attached to them. And this is why they can use them to control us with. Listen. You see the way these phones are made today? They're sealed. You can't take the battery out of them. See, a while back, you could take the battery out, that way they can't track your phone. Now they can track this thing whether I got it on or not. That's why they made them where you can't open them up. Huh? That's why they got it where you can't open it and take the battery out. It ain't gotta be on. They can still track this phone. They can still track it. See, people, we gotta quit being spoiled. Every time a new app come out, we gotta have it. But look at the permissions. Do you ever read the permissions on it before you download that? We need access to your contacts, your photographs, everybody. So now if you decide to do a criminal act, they can find you because they know everybody you know. And know where they live. Okay, this guy here, they put a name search on, he lives in Philadelphia. But let's put some police there to watch it, that house too. They got all your relatives' houses and names in your phone. So you have to watch those apps you download. They gonna ask you for that stuff just to turn the app. Nah. What you need access to my contact for? What, you gonna call some of my friends? Why you need my photo? So you can see how everybody looked that I know? They want access to your voicemail or text message. Why? See, but those are the rights we gave away. doing 911.
Yes, sir.
Listen, anything that happens, these people have to, they can't even hold water on their stomach. They have to tell you about it before they do it. Did you know it was a movie about the Twin Towers going down in 1998 before it even happened?
I didn't know
It's
that.
called Armageddon.
Oh, yeah.
And after 911, the rebroadcast series of it, they took the actual part where the buildings got hit out. This was after 911. But the movie was made in 98 and it showed those towers get destroyed. Okay. In the case of Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash, do you know they had a cartoon out about it before it even happened? A helicopter? Before it even happened. It's on, you can Google it up on YouTube now. It's a cartoon showing Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. See, they tell you, right in your face. Go look at the movie Contagion that was made in 2011. It is almost describing the same thing as this coronavirus. A pandemic, well, they already talked about, I've seen it on NPR News, that if it gets widespread here in the state, all the schools get shut down, daycare, jobs, everything shuts down. If it gets to be a pandemic. See, you have to be able to read through the lines, folks. That is the easiest way to institute martial law. Create something that's supposed to be a disease out there and put everybody in quarantine. Oh, don't come out your house. You know, that's martial law without even the use of force. See, because they know if they try to use force, especially here in Texas, there's too many paramilitary groups. They'll have problems. That's all I can tell you. There's a bunch of groups out here, they're going to have problems out there. Many of them. So what's the easiest way? Scare people into staying easy. See?
Biological warfare.
They got, one man ain't never even traveled out the country, now he got it. None of his relatives been nowhere. You think I'm going to trust these people to test me? Quite naturally, they're going to say I got it. You know, now if I go get tested for cancer, well, I can ask for the x-ray and I can see it myself. But you can't see no virus. You know what we're there. All right, yeah, you got it. We want to put you in quarantine. See? It ain't nothing but a slick way to institute martial law control. Chaos, control out of chaos. And that's what's written on the back of your dollar, whether you know it or not. Look on the back of your dollar. That's what it means. I ain't got a dollar, but it's written in Latin. Written in that, saying order out of chaos, written. I think it's the word that says right there. I think that's what it says. It's either this one or that. It means order out of chaos. Google it back quick and it'll tell you which one it means.
I think it's about.
Yeah, one of them means order out of chaos. That's how they do it.
I think it's the one below the pyramid. Like that below the pyramid.
So they create chaos, then they got order, they can control you. See? And so a lot of people were concerned about that. What y'all concerned about? You ever got about the Most High in this? But he ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, they done locked him out of it. You and I can understand people's concern because it's scary sounding. You know, you don't know who to go around. You know, man, I just go to the store, I'm not come home with it. Yeah. Now I do tell you, you know, I've got a habit when you know all this flu going around, people come now. I don't touch stuff with my hands. If I'm going to a store, if it don't have an automatic door to open itself, I take my elbow and push it over. I don't grab no handle. Or I'll pull my sleeve down over my hand, you know. You know, my wife, sometimes probably wear.
That's wisdom.
Yeah. We supposed to be wise and certain.
That's right.
And harmless. We're supposed to stay ahead of the game over here. See? Now, I'm not saying take it serious. They said it's out here, so take it serious. Okay? Just in case. Prepare yourself. Get you every week, you know, you ain't got to be elaborate with it. Just get you a little, you know, water every week and kind of put it aside. You know what I mean? Keep adding a little to your food, you know, to save it, so you don't have to go outside. See? Because if you get without water and you get without food, guess what happens? You prime candidate for a prima cancer. See, because you can't eat. You can go up to, people can last probably 2 weeks or more without food. 3 days tops with water. What happens when you don't get water? Your organs start shutting down. Kidney, liver, everything just goes shutting down without water. Food you can kind of get around. And, you know, I'll go pull up some grass and eat something.
Oh, they eat some cricket.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I'm eating something. I'm eating something. You know. Yeah. And, you know, people will tell you what they won't eat. I don't know. You go down and starvation, you kind of change your mind like that.
And see, that's the wisdom of, like Brother Anthony goes out camping, and I want all other brothers to go out camping. See, that's the wisdom, because it teaches us how to live without the modern day conveniences. You know what I'm saying? You know, what happened when they pull that trigger and shut out these modern day conveniences? If you don't know how to, so when we go camping, that's teaching us how to survive without a lot of modern day conveniences. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Let's mention something else about it. A lot of people say they can't grow anything because they don't have a backyard or
You can grow it indoors.
indoors. You know, they got these things called grow bags. You can get grow bags and get inside those soil. If you got a little bit of sunlight coming on your patio or through your window,
Yeah.
you can't grow things in those grow bags.
Yeah.
You know, you should grow nothing else, greens and tomatoes and carrots, things that grow quick and fast. You know,
Yeah.
open, things like that.
Potatoes.
We've been putting back food probably about 6-7 years now. So I eat for a long time. I eat for a long time. And in my garage, I got 55-gallon drum at least 5 of them. 55-gallon drum. Then about 5 gallons. Jugs that I would use, you know, flush the toilet or whatever. So, you know, we've been doing that for quite a while. Then I got them.
Military, I'll make meals that help the military.
MRE.
Yeah, I got them too. If we just got it, you know, we hope we don't ever need it. But I'd rather have it and not need it than the other way around. You know, and I I told my neighbors and stuff, and they ain't doing nothing, but I tell you what, if they go down, they'll come running over my house. You know, I'm not gonna white in the house, man, I don't be down for my family. Y'all knew it. You've been told.
And see, you know the thing about the FEMA camps, and they just opened up 6, what you call it, virus camp? I mean, that virus Corona, they opened up 6 quarantine. They just opened up 6 in the United States. 6. But the thing, when you said the FEMA camps, the thing is that if they want to make it where they don't have to force you into those camps. Because if you don't have no food and water,
You gonna go?
you understand? And that's what they're doing because they know most people it's not preparing. That's why this economy is all about you spending your money, not saving your money. Are you spending your resources, not saving your resources?
Yeah. I got a generator that will power my whole house.
That's a good investment.
In my garage. If I turn it on and plug it into one of the walls out there, it'll power my whole house. See?
That's a good investment. Generators,
Yeah.
I have bought one too.
Y'all can have it light, but while everybody else in the dark, I'ma still be online, I'ma still be watching TV.
Generators are good. And just another example is that in New Orleans, Katrina, most of the white people were prepared. But our people were, oh no, I just bought a fresh new pair of reels. I ain't had no money to get no gas and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know, because our people's mind is not, their mind is not on preparation.
They think this world is gonna go on forever like it is. That's why. You know.
But see, that's the thing. Even though we prepared, if people know you got it, right? Everybody else dark, but your house lights, that's going to attract.
I tell you what, it's gonna attract more than what you think it's gonna attract when you come there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is why most I've been dealing with me about what's going to be taking place.
Oh yeah, people gonna try to
It's going to get bad, right?
break in your house or whatever. But I remember
They're going to try to smoke you out, burn you out. They're going to try to do a lot.
One thing you gotta get up on my property to do is I can see you coming. See, I'm very big on security. Very big. My house has 8 cameras on it, all the way around. I can see you before you get there, and hear you before you get there, because they got out of here. You're not sneaking up there. You will be met with resistance. That's all I can tell you. Don't even think about it.
They're going to let us out the city. They're going to lock the cities down. The only way you're going to get out is through the woods.
And that's why that's why, you know, the Most High, YAH'S said, when you see the Roman army surrounding Jerusalem, he said, please. When the signs, see, we got to watch the signs. And the Most High can give us a sign and a sense in our ruach. Hey, it's time to get up out of here, man. Get up out of here. And it's good that you have a big building. Don't have no small car. Because if you have a small car, other people will be trying to get out, maybe trying to get out too. And they can easily bust your window and get in your car and throw you out. But if you have a big old vehicle, that'll give you a little more protection. Where if the road is full, you can just roll over that ditch onto the other road. You know what I'm saying? You know, like a lot of Sunday church there, they say, well, just give it to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But even the scriptures taught Noah to prepare before it happened. So it's in the scriptures we ought to make preparation. We know it's going to come down. It's been prophesied. So we better make preparation. You understand? Because it's coming down the drain.
See, man is trying to change property. He thinks that if he gets rid of us, then there won't be no need for the Most High to do what he's gonna do. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. See, he's trying to change property. He's trying to create a whole new belief system, a whole new religion. That's what the Antichrist means. It's just opposite of the Most High. That's what it means. The Most High say blue, they say red. You know, it's just the opposite of the Most High. And that's what they do. You know, they trying to, look at all these devices they got. They trying to replace humans. They come up with all this stuff to try to extend their lives. You know, make it where they'll live forever. Then they feel like they ain't got to worry about the Most High. Well, I done defeated them. See, we got it going on now. You know, out of all those heart transplants, what's that brother's name?
Deep Sandy?
No.
No, the billionaire.
Yeah.
I know you talking about.
Yeah. He's still left here. You're not going to stay here no longer. When the Most High punch your time, put you out of here. And that's why I can't live in fear. Because I know I'm not going to need it for my time. Unless I go out here and do something stupid and rush. You know. Now, I mean, you can rush your time. You know. You can go out to one of these real bad neighborhoods and walk up and punch one of them gang members in the face and get killed. Something like that, you can rush it. Yeah, you can rush it. But I mean, just in normal living, let's read Psalm 91. And I think I'll read from verse 1 to 15, and this is what I gave to everybody this week.
Psalms 91. Starting from the first verse to the 15th.
And just listen to this.
And it reads, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Adonai, He is my refuge and my fortress, my Elohim, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. 4th verse, He shall cover thee with His feathers. Under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. 6th verse, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
And you see that he said that the pestilence. That's what this is, the pestilence. You know. But we knew it was coming. They didn't see up there when they ain't on. We already knew it was coming.
That's right.
You know. Whether directed from the Most High or through evil men and He allowed them to do it. Either way. Nothing goes on without the Most High knowing about it or His will. You cannot do anything against the Most High will. Forget it. I don't care who you are. Satan even had to get permission to do things. You can't just go out and do something on his own. Then he can influence men to do stuff. But when he got ready to attack Job, he didn't just say, well, I'm going to do this. No, he had to ask the Most High. Could he do it? And the Most High gave him the guidelines for doing it. Well, you can do this to him and that, but don't you touch his life. See, they have to get permission. Okay?
7th verse from Psalms 91. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. 8th verse. Only with thy eyes shall thou behold, and see the reward of the wicked. 9th verse. Because thou hast made Adonai, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. 10th verse. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling.
Y'all see that? If that's not enough encouragement for you, I don't know what. You know, he done told you, he said, man, ain't none of that stuff coming near your way. You know, but we gotta believe it. You can't just read it now. This got to go in here.
Yes, sir.
See, that's when it works. That's when it takes it back. You can read it all day long. You know, just read it. No, that's got to sink down.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be part of you now. You know, you have to believe it. Like you say, you know, you have to believe that the Most High is. And then He's a rewarder.
Yes, sir.
Them that seek it. This got to sink so far down in your spirit that you're not shaken by anything. Of course, when this world, when all these events really get to happen and Jacob's trouble, we'll be shaken.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
nervous. But man, you know, that's what the devil just told me. He said, your eyes gonna be holy, but it ain't gonna harm you, didn't it? Is that what he said?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Read that part.
It reads, only the 8th verse. Only with thy eyes shall thou behold, and see the reward of the wicked.
See, you gonna see it, whether you want to or not. But that's just it. You gonna get to see all that destruction. You know, you gonna be sitting there. Wow, man, I'm glad I changed. You know, you see. You know, anything you want to do from this point on, it's not gonna be a secret. You know, they think Marshall gonna ease in here at midnight, you know, and gather up ones he gonna do. All guys are gonna see him. Even them that pierced him. Way back in the day, those that put him to death and pierced his side, they gotta look at him. See, it's hard for people to imagine that when you think about the billions of people that's lived before us. They're gonna get woke up. See, you can't get away. I don't get just like it's no statute of limitations on murder. Ain't no statute of limitations with the Most High. I don't care if you lived a million years ago. When resurrection comes time and judgment, you got to answer to that. Ain't no statute of limitations. With the Most High.
Hallelujah.
But you can't do it in all the Most High. That was 10 years ago. It was just like today to me, because I'm not bound by time. The Most High is not bound by time. He lives in eternity. Everything is the same to him. Everything. Last year is just like today to him. Tomorrow is like today to him. He's not bound by time. We are. That's why we think it takes so long for him to answer a prayer. You know, we ain't heard from him in 3 months, man. We tripping now. We panicking. But to him, man, you just asked me that a few seconds ago. You know. Because his timing is not ours. Well, you know, generally speaking, even if it's 3 months later, he ain't never late. I ain't never seen nobody turn a blessing down because it came 3 months later. Oh, that's all right, Most High. It's 3 months later, man. All over. I ain't never seen nobody do that. You glad when you get there. What? So I thought you forgot about it. You know. So, no, he's not. Read Isaiah 45:7.
Book of Isaiah, 45th chapter, the 7th verse. It reads, I formed the light and created darkness. I made peace and created evil. I, Adonai, do all these things.
He put his signature on it. He said, I'm the one doing it. The Most High is not evil, but he allows it. See, he's not evil. But anything you see going on is because of his permission. That's why. The Most High has an active will and he has a permissive will.
That's right.
It's a difference. Deuteronomy 32:39.
Deuteronomy, 32nd chapter, verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
All these people thinking they can be creative, come up with all these adventures, trying to extend their life and all that stuff. Life and death in the hands of the Most High. He allows things, these people to create stuff, but listen, when you're ill and you go into the hospital, those doctors can't heal you. Period. All they can do is treat symptoms. If you get healed, it's the Most High's will.
That's right.
That's it. Doctors cannot heal you. And they only know what's wrong with you by what you tell them. You know, that's what they go by, is what you tell them. And so that's what they treat, what you told them. But they can't heal you. There's no such thing as a doctor healing you. And they can reset a bone or something like that. You go in there with a broken arm. You know, something like that. But as far as cancer and all that stuff, listen, family, I mean this. Last year I had x-rays and they seen the spot in my lung. They said a little bit about the size of the quarter. On 3 different x-rays now, from these 3 different places, but I'm always go get more opinion. Although I wasn't going to take nothing. You ain't giving me no radiation, you ain't giving me no pink, I'm not doing none of that. I'll take it out there to the cemetery with me. But anyway, and so, recently, well, maybe last year, they took more x-rays and they can't find nothing. There's nothing there.
Hallelujah.
I didn't do nothing. I just told them what hey, this is it. This is the way I gotta get up out of here. So be it.
All praises.
Hallelujah.
They can't find nothing. They didn't do anything. I mean, they can't even figure it out. They sitting there. Maybe something was wrong with the x-ray machine. You know, it was casting shadows or something. That's all they can do is come up with some kind of rational excuse. And I just tell them, I know what happened. Y'all don't need to know. I know what happened.
Hallelujah.
And I'm telling you, see, I trust that storm that happened here in Fort Worth, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I mean, it was chunking hell down this side. And in my neighborhood, my vehicle was outside, just like everybody else. And my house, Do you know I am the only house roof didn't get tore up, my car didn't sustain any damage, and it's sitting out there like everybody else.
Hallelujah.
My next door neighbor came, "Whoa,
Hallelujah.
with your car out here last night here, man, it ain't got a scratch on it." I'm sorry.
All praises.
Hallelujah.
I mean, my insurance company called me about the house because a lot of people, we got the same, insurance company and stuff. I mean, the whole neighborhood, the whole street was full of roofers. If it tore up people's roof, mine didn't sustain a scratch. Insurance company, sir, well, we haven't heard from you. Did you have any, we got your neighbors and stuff. Did you get the roof damaged? I said, well, no. I've been up on the roof, it's not damaged. I said, but you can go ahead and send me a check anyway. I'll take it. No, I didn't get the roof damaged. And everybody understand it. And I mean, my car wasn't protected. It was sitting just like everybody else. We live next door, they could sitting in the driveway just like that. I ain't got no big tree covering over the driveway now. Just didn't get that. I don't need it. I know what it is. So we got to quit fearing. He don't want us to fear. These folks will scare you to death. You look at that mainstream media, and man, you be scared to go outdoors. It's business as usual for me. Y'all not gonna limit me, and make me afraid to live. I'll be cautious. I'll take necessary precautions. You're not gonna make me be afraid to live. We too far off in the game for that, man. We supposed to know who the Most High is.
Hallelujah.
We supposed to know. Nobody else knows. We gotta know. Let's read 2 Chronicles 18 and 18 through 22. 2 Chronicles 18 through 22.
2 Chronicles 18 through 22. And it reads, again he said, therefore hear the word of Adonai. I saw Adonai sitting up on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven sitting on his right hand and on his left. And the Most High said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. Then there came out a ruach and stood, or spirit, and stood before Adonai, and said, I will entice him. And the Most High said unto him, wherewith? 21st verse. And he said, I will go out and be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Most High said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. 22nd verse, Now therefore, behold, the Most High hath put a lion's ruach, or spirit, in the mouth of these thy prophets. And the Most High has spoken evil against thee.
Now, you see how much control the Most High has? Everybody works for the Most High. It's demons, spirit, y'all all work for me. When I need something done, Satan will do your job. See, the Most High is in control, period. On both sides. He's running. Nobody else is running nothing. You can find that same exact story in 1 Kings 22, verses 20 and 23. The same exact story. In fact, look at it.
1 Kings 22.
The Bible verifies it ourselves. It puts things in more than one place. That's why we gotta learn to read it as such, you know. Here a little, there a little.
And it reads from the 20th verse.
20 through 23. It's the same exact thing you read in the corner.
And the Most High said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Most High and said, I will persuade him. And the Most High said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, I have spoken evil concerning thee.
This is what is letting you know that even though the Most High has spirits and things, you know, to do things that need to be done, he's still in control of them. What did he tell me? Yeah, well, go ahead and do it. You'll be successful. But the Most High is the one who ultimately gets the credit. You see what I'm saying? When he said, I create evil, you know, he's the one gonna get, even though an evil spirit did it, the Most High gonna get the credit. Just like in Egypt, when the plagues happened, the Most High didn't do it himself, that was their thing. Who gets the credit for it? The Most High destroyed it. See, we have to learn to trust the Most High, like Moses was trying to tell his people when they got surrounded, you know, when they were leaving Egypt. You know, they done got backed up into a corner, you know, they racing the ocean and there they go panicking. You know, they went panicking and scared and all that stuff, and Moses just told them, say, just be still and see the salvation.
Hallelujah.
And that's what, you know, we need to learn today. Just be still. You know, don't get in a panic. We his children. Those of us, especially who love the Most High and desire to please him, we're his kids. We don't let nothing happen to you. If you believe that, you can't go around here half-heartedly believing nothing.
That's right.
It's whole hog and none. I hate to even call it, but yeah, you just gotta believe it. You know, that's why Moses told him. He said, "Those Egyptians y'all seen then, you ain't gonna see them no more. Be still and see the salvation of the Most High." And so that's what I want to. I try to live by that. I don't want to be scared to do anything, you know, just scared to go outdoors. You know, and I do watch who touches me. I don't let anybody touch me. You know, Gentiles, I don't want them coming up hugging on me or putting your hand on me. Just speak, man, and move on. I don't know nothing about you. I don't know if you got some kind of ailment you trying to pass on to me. No. Speak, we good.
That's right.
Keep going.
Right.
I don't like different people. You should. You know, you find people you got your children with and they, oh, he's so cute. You want to kiss him? No. I don't know what you got. Kissing on my children. And I know y'all think that's kind of bad for me to say that, but you just never know in this world what people's motive is. And so I just wanted to bring that out so we can not focus on this corona stuff and focus on the Most High. That's where our focus needs to be at. That's the only thing gonna save us. That's it. That's the bottom line. We can't forget the Most High. He plays a big role in this. Every breath we take, you know, it's accounted for.
You want to keep our hearts pumping. I said, we want to keep our hearts pumping.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That's why at times your eyes pop open in the morning. You best be thinking. I don't move. I'm telling you, I don't move until I think. Away me.
What was that scripture in Deuteronomy that you did? The scripture in Deuteronomy?
Talking about Deuteronomy 32, 39?
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I kill and I
Yeah.
make, I heal. Any more questions or comments? We go by the YAH'S Club praise. Elder Scales will definitely be back to teach next Shabbat, as he always do. We're going to prepare ourselves to conclude.